How Business Impacts Human Rights was the topic of a forum at the UN in Geneva. The three-day annual event brought together business leaders, government representatives, NGOs and civil societies. More than 1,500 people from over 100 countries participated. His Excellency Archbishop Silvano Tomasi, permanent observer of the Holy See to the UN Geneva, was one of the keynote speakers.
The experience shows that further steps are required in the construction of a stronger business and human rights regime, including the development of national action plans on business and human rights and effective remedies to those businesses practices whose violation of human rights produce negative consequences. Profit cannot be the only rational goal of business activity, as Pope Francis and other religious leaders tell us. When human rights are neglected, a systemic exclusion of the vulnerable comes about. The Pope points out that a new development occurs. It is no longer simply about exploitation and oppression, but something new. Exclusion ultimately has to do with what it means to be a part of the society in which we live. Those excluded are no longer society's underside, or its fringes, or its disenfranchised. They are no longer even part of it. The excluded are not the exploited, but the outcast, the leftovers. Certainly, business enterprises are crucial for issues of sustainability, not only because they are fundamental pillars of the private sector, but also because they can satisfy many human needs through the provision of goods and services. They have a social responsibility where, through the social license to operate that is granted to them by their government, they must work not only for their legitimate profit, but also for the common good. A peaceful and creative society is possible when the economy is placed within a context where human persons have priority, are free to contribute their talents, and their dignity is properly recognized.
The Apostolic Nuncio said also that the interplay of business and human rights offers a good opportunity to further humanize the economy and to convey some observations and Pope Francis's perspective on the relationship between business and human rights, an aspect of the Catholic Church, is what the Holy See offers as their contribution to the debate. We spoke with Francesca Restifo, International Advocacy Director of Franciscans International.
That we are here because we want to address seriously all the human rights violations and abuses that are generated by business activities. This is a phenomenon that is increasingly important, especially considering the global policies and the fact that this is the current development model that sees business and the profit at the forefront and the rights of the people at the last level. We brought here for this session a number of human rights defenders, land and environmental rights defenders from the field, from the regions, from the Democratic Republic of Congo, from Colombia, from Honduras, from Guatemala, from the Philippines, from Indonesia, to make sure that their voice, the voice of the local communities, the voice of grassroots, the voice of the victims, the voice of the indigenous peoples can be heard here in this forum and can be shared not only with governments, not only with UN experts, but also with the business sector.